Hey everyone, how's it going? This is Rob over here at BuneBape, and I hope you're having an amazing day. Today I'll be bringing you all another old school RuneScape video, and this time it's going to be on my top 3 low-level pay-to-play moneymakers. I'm mainly doing this video because someone asked if we could start doing some pay-to-play money-making videos, but pay-to-play moneymakers are way more plentiful than free-to-play. So here I decided to split the moneymakers into low level, mid level, and high level moneymakers, or at least that's going to be the idea right now. So starting with the low level moneymakers, these are going to be around skill level 30 or lower as far as requirements go with minimal quest prerequisites. So these are just stuff that you can get right from the get-go when you make your account the first week or so, just something you can get into early if you wanted to start making money right away. Also, before we head into the first method, I am only going to be including money-making methods that will progress the account to some degree, so there's not going to be any flipping or buying, selling from vendors. Not to say that these aren't perfectly valid ways to make money, but I'd rather focus on ways to improve your account, especially for these low-level moneymakers, and who knows, I might even make some vendor flipping videos in the soon-to-come future. So if you want to work your way towards a medium or even high level account and make some cash along the way, then make sure to stick around as I'll be showing you 3 methods, their experience, and money per hour. Also, if you're not quite a member, you can check out my top 3 free-to-play moneymakers that I'll link in the top right of this video. Lastly, I'll have links to the wiki for each method, and if I skipped over anything, got it wrong, or you think I should have included something I forgot to, let me know down in the comments below. So with all that out of the way, let's get into the first method. As you've been seeing in the background of the intro, we are going to be hanging out with some dwarfs as we're going to be smithing some steel bars at the blast furnace. The blast furnace is one of the best and most reliable ways not to just level smithing, but to make a ton of gold along the way. Usually the fastest way to level smithing is with gold bars, and that costs a pretty penny, but if you want, you can make a ton of GP while leveling, although it is going to take quite a bit more time. There are going to be a couple of things you need first, and that's going to be to start the giant dwarf quest and bring some coal and iron. Then you can easily get to the blast furnace by using the train cart system under the Grand Exchange. Overall, this place does not require a lot to get started, but if you want to get the most out of your time here, make sure to bring some ice gloves, a coal bag, and some stamina potions if you have the extra cash. A quick note is that while using stamina potions to run back and forth are definitely worth it and speed up the process, if you can't afford them at the beginning, it's totally fine walking to and from the furnace. And if you're not quite there yet as far as the ice gauntlets go, don't worry, just bring a ton of buckets of water to cool down the bars before you grab them. It does cost some money to operate the blast furnace on blast furnace designated worlds, about 72,000 GP per hour, but I would still highly recommend saving up and going for that. On top of that, you'll also need to pay a small entrance fee of 2,500 gold if you're under level 60 smithing. Lastly, of course, you're going to need some money to get started by buying the ore you need from the Grand Exchange. Of course, this is going to be ideal and how you're going to make the most money per hour, but if you also need to get up your mining, then you can totally just mine your own iron and coal. As far as actually making the steel bars, it is going to be very simple. The blast furnace lets you use half the amount of coal you would normally and smelts all of the bars at once. So if you're quick at math, you probably already figured out that you only need to bring enough iron and coal in a 1-to-1 ratio instead of the usual 2 coal ore, cutting down the cost significantly. Starting off, all you need to bring is weight reducing clothing if possible and a bucket of water or the ice gloves. To make the bars, bring an inventory of coal to the furnace, run back to the bank chest and take out the same amount of iron and a bucket of water, or bring your ice gloves. Once both have been deposited, wait a second and you should be able to claim your newly minted bars. A quick tip here that I found out the hard way when doing this for the first time in a while is make sure you put in your coal before you put in your iron. If you simply put in your iron, it's going to smelt all of your iron into iron bars instead of the steel bars that you're going to be wanting. Smelting iron bars is no problem, but when the goal is steel bars, then you're going to want to make sure to do it in the right order. It's that simple in a fairly low attention method, so this is great if you have the starting cash and want to watch a few shows while getting up your smithing. This is exactly what I did. I got through a few episodes of One Piece and made a few 100,000 gold in the process. Smelting anything that is not gold at the blast furnace is usually profitable, and usually the profit increases with bar rarity. So if you decide to do this all the way to rune bars, you could potentially see over 1.2 million GP per hour, and that's while leveling your smithing, so it's not too bad. For the method I showed here, you can expect anywhere between 400 and 800,000 GP profit per hour and upwards of 90,000 experience per hour. So even on bad days when coal and iron are a little more expensive, you're still almost certain to see a profit. So that's going to be about it for method 1. Let's head over and take a look at the second method. So here we are at the second method, and it's going to be quite a bit more lackluster than the first method. But if you ever plan on leveling up your woodcutting, then this is not a bad option. So as for our second method, we have something for woodcutting, surprisingly enough, because I think a lot of players see this as a throwaway skill that has to be done at max efficiency, including throwing all your hard-earned wood on the floor, meaning no profit. I'm not here to argue that dropping your wood on the floor isn't the fastest woodcutting XP, because of course it is, but if you need some decent money or have very little GP to start with and want to get a really chill skill up like woodcutting, it's certainly possible. Starting off, you need practically nothing except a skill appropriate axe and the burning will to chop. For this method, I would recommend using the party world so you can take advantage of other people's houses or have a nearly maxed house yourself, but it's likely that you don't have that, as this is going to make commuting to the bank and replenishing stamina much more time and cost efficient. But with that being said, there is no requirement besides an axe and a dueling ring if you don't want to bother with teleporting to multiple places. Starting off, you will need weight reducing clothes if possible, an axe and a home teleport tab or runes for a home teleport. So we're going to start by recharging our stamina, teleporting to Castle Wars via the jewelry box or the dueling ring, and running to the west at the end of the swamp. Just a note that while I did this, I actually found that with the graceful set on, I really wasn't using enough stamina to require the teleport back to the house. So if you only decided to use a dueling ring just to bank and then get back here, that is probably going to be a more effective method than running back to recharge your stamina every single time. It's a little bit of a run, but luckily there's going to be very few players here and you'll have a Teak all by yourself, or at least that's what I found in my case. I had to hop a couple worlds, but not too many, and there is only one Teak here, so usually if there's someone there, you're going to want to hop. Once you get to the Teaks, start your chopping, and once you fill your inventory, teleport to you or a friend's house and start all over. This time recharging your stamina, teleporting to Castle Wars, depositing your wood at Castle Wars, and then running to the west to start chopping once again. When I tested this method, I was able to get about 50k XP per hour and roughly 105k GP per hour, and at this time I have 82 woodcutting and a dragon axe. I believe with max woodcutting at the hardwood grove, this method will yield about 150k GP per hour and roughly 70 to 80k XP per hour, making it one of the better ways to level woodcutting, and you'll make a profit while doing so. Also, before anyone comments about how you can go to the hardwood grove in Taibo One Eye Village, while I know this place is probably better, I wanted to have as few requirements as possible, and this requires practically nothing, not even any quests. With that being said, if you have the jungle potion quest done or you can easily do it, then the hardwood grove is probably going to be a better option. So that's going to be it for the second method. Let's move on to the third and final. So for our last method, we're going to be talking about cleaning some really dirty herbs. This is actually one of my favorites, and I have fond memories of doing this when I was first starting out. This is a pretty good method that I used to frequently visit when I was first getting up my herb lore, and what's nice is it does not require a lot of money to get started, or at least it doesn't most of the time. That being said, I am showing the most expensive and effective moneymaker when it comes to cleaning grimy herbs, and so while I'm going to be showcasing cleaning grimy Ranarr weeds, you can clean many different types of herbs for a profit, but as always with all of these methods that involve purchasing something off of the Grand Exchange, check the margin on an item before buying them in mass. I've been the victim of buying grimy leaves and only selling them for a loss once I finished cleaning them because I didn't do any research. One nice thing about cleaning herbs though is you will likely not lose much even if you miscalculate. Probably the biggest con of this method is going to be the potential for getting RSI, as you'll be doing a lot of clicking if you want to do it the fastest way, which is by clicking on every single herb to clean it. Of course, you now have the option to click and clean your whole inventory with a single click, and that is perfectly fine, but if you're trying to maximize not only XP but GP per hour, then you're going to want to click each herb. Starting off, all you need is money to buy the herbs, then you simply bank stand and clean those herbs. There's really not much to this method. So for Ranarr, you can make just about 22,000 experience per hour with around 150k profit per hour for simply cleaning some dirty herbs. This may seem like very little experience, especially in comparison to other methods for other skills, but leveling herb lore can be quite expensive, and this is a great option for starting out early in herb lore and getting those early levels so that you don't have to spend so much money on crafting potions right away. I personally did this until level 50 plus, and we didn't have auto cleaning back in my day, but I really enjoyed it. I made some good money, and now with the advent of auto cleaning, this is actually a really nice AFK way to make some money while watching a show. Of course, like I said, you likely don't have the 30 mil at the moment to start doing an hour of Ranarr, but at the time of making this video, all leaves except for the Cadentine are profitable to some extent. You might not be making the most money, but it is a money-making way to train your skills. As you can see in this clip, I let the RuneLite client make this a lot easier for me by enabling stretch mode so that the herbs are easier to click. I tend to do this anytime I am doing something very click intensive in my inventory, so I'd highly recommend giving stretch mode a chance, and it just makes your clicking and targeting of things in your inventory much easier in my experience. So here we have a surprise. It's an honorable mention that I wanted to bring up. Lastly, I wanted to throw in this honorable mention, which is actually a great low-level moneymaker, but I did something similar to this in my free-to-play video. And also, top 4 low-level moneymakers just doesn't sound as good as top 3, so here's an extra method if you want to improve your crafting. This is going to be crafting emerald bracelets, and this is going to be slightly less profitable than crafting standard gold bracelets, but the emerald bracelets actually offer over 2 times as much experience per hour. That being said, standard bracelets are a great option if you don't have the GP to start with this method, as buying emeralds in bulk can be extremely expensive. Starting off for this method, all you need is to buy equal parts gold bars and emeralds, and a bracelet mold. Once you have everything, head over to Edgeville and fill up your inventory with the mold, and the rest is half gold and half emeralds. Smelt these into the bracelets at the furnace, and it's going to take a little bit, so you can easily play multiple accounts while doing this if that's something you're interested in. Overall, this method is simple and will yield roughly 90k XP per hour and upwards of 200k GP per hour after selling the bracelets back to the Grand Exchange. Of course, this is similar to the herbs and the iron ore. Make sure to check the price of things before buying them in bulk, as it could mean the difference between making money or just barely scraping by. So that's actually going to be it for the video and all of the free-to-play low-level moneymakers that I have here. I really hope this helped out some new players that are just getting into members, and if you are newer, just starting out, or simply looking for a cool place to hang out, you can join our chat channel, which is Bunebapeosrs, all one word, no spaces. Here you'll be able to find Michelle and I at most times of the day. We'll be more than willing to answer any questions you might have and give some more suggestions about moneymakers if you're still curious. I had a really good time making this video, as I made some nice money along the way. So if there are any other videos that you would like to see, let me know. As I said, suggestions are how this video became a thing, so let me know, and be on the lookout for the med and high level versions of this guide that I'm sure to put out in the not too distant future. Also, let me know down in the comments of any low level moneymakers that you have liked or think would have been a great addition to this video. So that's going to be about it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to have a great day, and I'll see you all very soon.